What is up, y'all? It's been a while since I've done a good old-fashioned unboxing of a guitar, and today it's a special guitar. Today it's a special guitar. As you can see in the package down below, this looks like a GOC package, right? Yeah. And this is a new guitar from GOC Guitars, and I've been waiting for this for a while. This is a long time coming, so I figured I would do things right and I would do a proper unboxing for all of you. This actually arrived yesterday, and believe it or not, you can see by the plastic wrap on it, I have not busted into this thing yet. So I think I deserve some congratulations for my willpower, because I really wanted to tear into this thing all day yesterday, but I knew that I wouldn't have time to do a proper unboxing, and so I held off for all of you. I did this for you guys. So let's go ahead and dig into it now, shall we? Let me get a knife going here. So this guitar has been all over the world in its journey to get to me here. So it's only right that we do a proper unboxing. Man, they've really packaged this thing up pretty well. And I can see I have another huge layer of tape underneath it to get through as well. So this is gonna be a minute. I might speed this part up, or we can just chat. You know, there's nothing wrong with chatting, right? Oh my gosh, this has tape and plastic wrap, so. And then there's more tape in the box underneath it too. DHL did a good job. They did a great job. They actually delivered it earlier. It was supposed to be delivered today, and it came yesterday. So imagine my excitement yesterday when I was not expecting to get a new guitar. And we all know new guitar day, probably one of the best days you can have. If my wife is watching this, our wedding was my best day. Don't worry, our wedding was still my best day of my life. But getting a guitar, that's a pretty close second, man, I gotta say. You know, I need to sharpen this knife at some point because it can't even cut through plastic wrap. This is kind of pathetic. So, what do I even go to the gym for if I can't get this damn box open? Oh, okay. There's the first part of it. Now, we gotta get the second part open. I gotta find a seam. There's always a seam somewhere. All right. I see the tape. There we go. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. And I am going to let you all take the first look at it. Going to take a page out of Andrew Baina's book there. And I'm not going to get the first look. But pretty sure it's going to have some of that, you know, foam on top of it. So we'll see. It's funny though, because I will get to see it because I can see my monitor in front of me where I'm mirroring that. Okay, yeah. We have the good old styrofoam. Okay, second look here. We got more styrofoam. I do love how these are packed. I've said this in past videos as well, but this styrofoam is custom cut to like hold down the guitar in certain spots and hold down the neck of the guitar, but without actually hurting it in any way. And that's how these things get shipped all over the world without getting messed up. All right, we have an olive colored GOC shirt. Really, really sick. I love that color. They know me all too well. And a little goodie bag here that I'm not going to let you all see because this has a surprise in it that is directly related to these guitars. We have Snake Pit Guitars Guitar Pick. Snake Pit is the one that was able to ship this to me after they checked out what is in that little bag that I just set down there. And then we have our truss rod adjustment tool. We have the bridge adjustment tool. Bridge adjustment, you say? Yes. These bridges are adjustable. This is one of the GOC guitars with the brand new low pro bridge system, which you're about to see. Okay, we've got everything else off of this, so let's go ahead and unwrap the foam sheath. I call these a sheath for unsheathing a weapon here, man. What shape do y'all think this is gonna be? Before I unbox this fully, what shape do you think this is gonna be based on the shadow and silhouette here? I already know, obviously, but what do you think it's gonna be? It's a shape I don't already have, so if you comb through my videos and you see the shapes I do have already, then you'll know. But I think there's two shapes I don't have already, but this is one of them. Oop. Got the upper horn of it sticking out there. All right. Oh my God, I hate this stuff. I get why it's needed, but man, got it. Okay. There it is. That is the shape. This is the Vajra. This is a Vajra Plus, which plus means it's got the burled top here, but there's a Vajra Plus 7-string. Oh man, I've been waiting so long for this thing, honestly. Damn, that bridge looks incredible. Holy crap, this is a beautiful guitar. I should have some B-roll up on the screen for you all right about now. But this is a Vajra 7. And so this thing, oh my gosh. You can see why it's called a plus. You can see that top, that burled top is just ridiculous, right? This is insane. This is actually insane. This is probably my best looking guitar from GOC. This is legit as hell. I love this body shape. I don't know why I haven't gotten one of the Vajras sooner, but it is so sick. Look at the back of that. Like, look at that. That is wild. That is ridiculous. Sorry, I'm trying to center it. That's why it's going all over the place there. That is ridiculous. We also have the new neck on here. So the new neck is still micarta, but it does have the maple stripes inside of here as well, which obviously, one, make it look cool, but add to the stability even further. Oh my God, the Vajra is so comfortable on the lap too. I sit playing guitar all day, so that's very important to me. It just feels good, man. The GOC necks, if you haven't tried a GOC neck yet, this is the AOneck. It is ridiculously comfortable. You have the slightly modern like V shape right here, and then you have a thin D shape for the rest of the neck. So it cradles the bottom of the hand there. So sick. So let's talk about this guitar and why it's important. This is the next step for GOC. This is the next iteration of GOC guitars. And what makes this the next iteration? What makes this guitar so special? Well, we talked about the bridge already, right? This is the new low pro bridge, and it is all stainless steel, so these parts are made to outlast us as players. And you'll notice, because I'll put it up on screen here, this is a completely different bridge design from the old ZSR style bridge that is on the previous generation of GOCs. This has brand new barrel tuners with ball thrust bearings, and I'm not making a joke, that's actually what they're called, ball thrust bearings, instead of the Teflon washers, which makes these infinitely easier to turn and tune without having to use a guitar pick and everything. So the main complaint from a lot of players was how hard those older tuners were to turn. I always just used a guitar pick to turn them, so it wasn't an issue for me. But I get it, people wanted something better, wanted something easier. GOC listens to the players. They listen constantly. They're always reading the comments. They're always saving the comments. And they take every piece of these guitars back to the drawing board to make sure that they can constantly improve upon them. Now, thanks to the construction of the new low pro bridge and the dual lock headpiece, you have stainless steel contacts for the strings end to end on here. So you have full stainless steel contact as far as where the strings meet the body. And that's really great to help increase resonance and obviously just give you really solid contact points up here as well, because you do have the 0 fret up here as well as the dual lock headpiece and then the entire stainless steel low pro bridge. Now for comparison here, I do have my beloved GOC Guitars Illumina. This was my first ever GOC guitar. This is the one that started it all for me, and this has the ZSR bridge on it. Now if you can see, and I'll put some better close-up photos up on screen as well, but this is the old style bridge, and so you would turn these tuners, but they're very stiff, and so I would usually have to feed a guitar pick into the little slot there to turn them with ease. So it was still easy for me, but it wasn't easy to do by hand. And then if we look at the saddles here, the saddles are these little brass pieces which twist up and down clockwise or counterclockwise to get them to move up or down to adjust the action. And then to adjust the intonation, you did have to take the string out of here completely because there is an Allen key screw underneath the string, and if you loosen that, you can move this entire bridge saddle backwards and forward. Now the issue that presented was when you're trying to adjust intonation, you kind of want the string on the guitar so that you can check your intonation back and forth, right? Not really a possibility on the old style bridges. It was possible to intonate them. I intonated all of mine, never had an issue there. It just took a while, right? It was a very lengthy process to intonate for a brand new tuning, for instance. So this new bridge really solves that issue for us. And as a player that is constantly changing tunings and constantly doing setups on my guitars and changing different string gauges, this is just a huge creature comfort for me, and it makes things that much quicker. And again, thank you GOC for listening to your players. Now, as far as what I would compare this to, everybody's gonna ask me, what would I compare this bridge to? I would compare it similar to the Kiesel Hipshot Headless bridge. Now this is a multi-scale bridge. Thankfully, they did keep these multi-scale, but I would compare it to that as far as comfortability and adjustability. And then I would compare it more to a standard Hipshot bridge. And if you look at it, that's kind of what it looks like, right? It is different, but it has that same low profile shape. It sits really low down to the guitar itself, so great for palm muting. Speaking of palm muting, it's extremely comfortable. There's no like sharp edges or anything. When I rest my hand on it, I don't feel any edges at all. It just feels rounded off. So extremely comfortable, nothing catching my hand there at all. And it's just, honestly, it's awesome that there's just one Allen key at the end of each of the string posts, and I can use that to just move the saddle backward or forward to adjust the intonation. That's huge for me. Like I said, I like to be able to dial in my guitars to my exact preferences. And again, that's a really great spec on a guitar like this, and it's something that you will not be able to live without once you use it. We also have another new piece here. So these are the new Ryuri rail style pickups. So these are Alnico 5 magnets inside of them. They're German wound pickups. and they're a little bit hotter than the old pickups as well. Not only that, but let's be real, they look pretty damn sick in these guitars, right? They look good in these guitars. I love rail style pickups. I play them in my other GOCs as well. There's just something about them besides just their looks. They do sound great as well. But yeah, these are the Ryui progressive humbuckers from GOC Guitars. So these are in-house humbuckers, and you're gonna hear them in a second too, because we're gonna do some tone tests with this. You already know we're gonna do some tone tests with it. Now, weight-wise, even with the new stainless steel low pro bridge, these are still extremely light guitars. And sure, there may be lighter guitars out there, but these are pretty damn light. I don't know if I would want a lighter guitar than this, because I do like a little bit of heft to the guitar, just so that it feels a little bit more consistent, you know? But obviously I could compare this to guitars like Strandberg and NK and other headless guitar brands that are out there. Some of them are lighter. Strandbergs are ridiculously light, but I didn't vibe with the weight or the neck on the Strandberg guitars compared to what I've come to love on GOC guitars. The necks on a GOC guitar are a little bit heavier, but because of where the strap buttons and everything are placed and the way that these sit with the ergonomic shape of them, I don't have issues with neck dive on them at all, even when standing and playing. Now, rounding off some of the changes here, so we do have the duo lock headpiece, which what duo lock means is it locks up here on the front and then it locks on the back as well. And what this does is allows the headpiece to be secure without having any pieces getting in the way of your hand. So you have the top of the neck fret access being very, very simple. There's nothing sharp up there, and it puts a lot less stress on the guitar itself. So you're not at risk of these pulling out of the headpiece itself, which is a common issue with some of the lower end headpieces. So it's really nice to have this dual lock headpiece. You have 2 screws that lock in each string. You don't have to worry about your string coming loose or anything like that. So it's very stable. These things stay in tune like nobody's business. They have upgraded the knob as well, which doesn't seem like a huge thing for everybody, but for a lot of people, they do like having the speed style knob on here instead of the plastic knob that was on the older models. Now, I told you at the beginning here, this little bag that came with it has something special in it, right? Well, in true GOC fashion, they listened to their players yet again. When the first version of these bridges went out to people, they uncovered an issue with putting larger gauge strings on the 6th and 7th string. The saddles had a little pinch point that wasn't allowing the strings to properly fit in them. And so again, in true GOC fashion, they listened and they immediately revised the saddle system and replaced them all entirely. So every new GOC guitar that you order and have ordered for the past, I think, month, will already come with these new saddles installed on them. And anybody who bought one of these with the new bridge system will be able to be shipped those new saddles. So GOC always doing what's right by the player, by the customer. And it's yet another reason I respect this company so immensely. Some other things I'd like to point out about GOC guitars in general, and I can show you with this guitar. Let's go ahead and look at the back of it here. So on the back of it, you'll notice that we do have a battery clip already on here. These do not come with active pickups already on the guitar. That is just for if you decide that you want to put active pickups in it. GOC didn't want players having to stuff batteries into the battery cavity or figure out a way to route their own battery cavity on the guitar. They just put it in there for you. So all you have to do is wire your new pickups in, and the cables are already going from the battery clip over to the cavity itself, so you're already good to go there, and you just need to wire it in and put a battery inside of it. You'll also notice that the neck is bolted on with 6 screws, which is, again, I hate to say that that's actually an upgrade for a lower priced guitar, but it is. A lot of lower priced guitars will only have the 4 bolts on there, which could lead to some instability under high tension. So it's nice to have the 6 bolt system already there, you know? And then there is something unique on this guitar as well. These are very thin guitars, and when people would install new pickups in them, they would accidentally drill through the guitar while installing the new pickups because of how thin they are. And so GOC did implement a fix for that, where the pickup mounting system itself is actually a threaded system that goes through the entire guitar as it is. So you'll notice that there's a couple more bolts on here than there usually would be on a guitar, right? And that's because you actually use an Allen wrench from behind to adjust the pickup height or to remove the pickups entirely. So no having to worry about stripping out the holes when you're mounting or remounting pickups inside of the guitar. It's a very seamless system, very easy to use. I've actually replaced pickups on one of my other GOC guitars multiple times. This makes it a lot more foolproof because I have almost drilled through the back of a guitar once just by screwing in the screw. And GOC has really optimized these guitars. I gotta say, these are the easiest by far of any headless guitar that I've worked on. And that's saying something because I've dealt with some very expensive headless guitars, and there's a lot of really expensive brands that don't have as good of a bridge as this. And that's not me throwing shade. There's a lot of really great headless brands out there. GOC is amongst them. But these GOCs are still under $1,000 US, and that's ridiculous for this quality of fit, finish, and the parts that are on this guitar. These are parts, fit, and finish that you would find easily on guitars that are twice the price as this. And I'm talking guitars at least $1,500 and up, right? These are incredible value for the price, especially, and that's why I've got so many of them now. I think this is my 5th GOC, and little by little, I'm selling all of my other guitars. And yeah, that's where we're at with it. Let's plug it in and let's get some tones out of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my quad cortex. And yes, I know not everybody has a quad cortex, but what I'm also going to do is down in the description below, you can download my DI and you can drop it into your DAW, and then you can run my DI signal through whatever plugins that you want to run it through. Or if you have a reamp box, you can run it through your amp as well. So that way you can get a good picture of how these pickups sound through whatever setup that you're using. So let me get all plugged in here, shall we? All right, so I've gone ahead and thrown on some headphones here, and as I was tuning the guitar, I was like, holy crap, these really are the easiest headless tuners I have ever used to tune a guitar. I actually accidentally turned it way too far in the first turn because I'm used to having to crank them, you know, on the old style bridge. These are incredible. These are ridiculous. They're very, very smooth to the touch, but they still have a grip to them because they're ridged, and they're really, really sick, honestly. And it's ridiculously effortless to tune the guitar. So very big kudos to GOC, and specifically to one of my fellow GOC artists, Jason, because he helped design this and get this all ready for production and out to all of you. So let's go ahead and take a listen to some riffs here. So I'm going to be riffing on a high gain metal tone first, and then I'll go ahead and switch over to a clean tone so y'all can hear that as well. And I will be using the quad cortex like I said, but I will include the DI track down in the description below so y'all can download it and run it through whatever you want to run it through. So let's go ahead and dive into some of my riffs. All right, so now I'm gonna switch it over to a clean-ish kind of tone that I've got here. It's got some reverb and delay on it as well. Alright, so I hope that quick little demo of the pickups helps you decide whether or not you want to pick up one of these very soon. I have no affiliate links or anything like that, but I do have a link to the GOC Guitars website right down in the description below. If you've followed me for any length of time on this channel here, you'll know that I use GOC Guitars literally just about exclusively at this point. And it's because they do the damned thing. These guitars cover whatever genre it is that I'm trying to write at that given time, and they do it while playing ridiculously well. These are my favorite necks that I've ever played on any guitar, period, hands down. And if you talk to any of the other artists that are with GOC or any of the other owners of GOC Guitars, they're most likely going to tell you the same thing. GOC is taking over the headless game, and they're doing it without ripping all of you off, which is honestly one of the most admirable traits about this company. They've kept these guitars affordable and attainable for everybody and haven't price gouged people, and that's something that's very commendable in my opinion. And remember, ask yourself this, if GOC can build guitars to this caliber for the price that they do, why can't everyone else? Yeah, I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions about this, let me know down in the comments below. GOC will be reading those comments down below as well, so make sure if you have any questions for them, ask it down there too. You will be seeing a lot of videos from me with this guitar and all of my other GOC guitars, but especially with this guitar because you know what happens every time you get a new guitar and you get ridiculously inspired to write and play. That's what's happening right about now. So I hope that this video answered some questions for all of you, but again, if it didn't, put those questions down below and I will make more videos with this specifically addressing those questions. We are planning to do a live Q&A session with GOC here on YouTube and maybe on other platforms as well, but most likely here on YouTube. So if you do have those questions, throw them down in the comments. We will answer them live, and that will be announced very soon. We don't have an exact date locked in just yet. So thank you all for watching. If you got this far, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help your boy out, and until next time, peace and love, and I'll see you all in the next one.